Aaron Rodgers, Big G, coming to Pittsburgh. First off, I'm going to ask you, is it a
Mm.
done deal?
No, no, and because it's Aaron Rodgers, that's why it's not a done deal. Because
Right,
it's Aaron Rodgers. If it was up to the Steelers, it'd have been done. But because
right.
it's Aaron Rodgers, no, it's not. No, it's not. B.
I got you. I
Mm.
understand. And that's kind of the thing. Is like it's not done. What I was talking to you off screen or
Mm.
before we went live, and I think this is absolutely true. Is that Aaron Rodgers isn't signing because there's rumors about the Steelers trading George Pickens, and I
Facts.
think Rodgers is like, no, if Pickens ain't on the roster, I'm not coming. And
Mm.
so I think he's waiting because the Steelers aren't going to trade him after the draft. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So he's going to wait till after the draft. And then once that happens, then he'll sign.
Yeah.
Should the
Well, you
Steelers
saw.
move on without him? If that's the case?
Mm-mm. Because I mean, listen, the options is Mason Rudolph. Well, first of all, let me back up and say about GP. GP is all on Instagram, all on X or Snap or wherever all that stuff. He's posting love pictures with him and Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
holding and hugging each other, saying, this, that, and this. So there's a lot of jockeying that's going on behind the scenes between Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and George Pickens. I think they want to come together as a tandem to say, okay, we're going to take an opportunity to win the Super Bowl. But the deal is that Pittsburgh, that's like the ace in the hole for the Steelers. If
Right.
all hell breaks loose and we're unable to do some certain things, the player that you trade is GP because GP only has 1 year remaining on his contract, and to me, we shouldn't franchise tag him. So you're just going to drag this on. So I think there's a lot of posturing and a lot of jockeying going on between Pickens, DK Metcalf, and Aaron Rodgers, man.
Right. Because, like I said, I don't think Rodgers signs if Pickens isn't on the team, but Pickens hadn't done enough to get, some long extension, the kind of money
Mm-hmm.
that I'm sure him and his agent are going to want. So
Mm-hmm.
just play it out and see what happens. Now, to lose Pickens without getting any draft capital would be crazy. I think the Steelers are going to franchise. I think they're in a position to actually do that, and they're going
Mm-hmm.
to franchise him. But again, it depends on what kind of year he has.
Mm-hmm.
If he has another 7 or another 800-900 yard season, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I think the Steelers can look at, we can go in the draft and get somebody that can give us that. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have to pay that guy, $30 million, and they
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out what's going on. Arts Baby Doll asked a good question though, in the chat. Big G, it
Mm-hmm.
says, "Do you think that with Aaron, we have a chance to win a playoff game?" To
Yeah.
me, he gives us more of a chance than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are going to say, no, go with Rudolph. But if we're being honest, Aaron Rodgers gives us a better chance than Mason Rudolph to win a playoff game. It's
Yeah.
just facts.
Yeah.
And we don't have to like it, but we at least got to live in factual information, Big G.
Right. Because it's based on. Listen, B, I told you this off air, bro. I told you I always value production over potential.
Correct.
Aaron Rodgers has shown me over and over and over and over again. He produces. And when the lights are the brightest, he plays sometimes the best. Now, he's coming off of a 2-year remove from an Achilles injury.
Mm-hmm.
He played better football in the back half of last year. And I think a lot of that was because he just got in shape. I don't believe at the beginning of the season he was in shape at all. And it showed because he wanted to get rid of the ball, throw it out of bounds. If a wide receiver wasn't either wide open or standing in the exact spot where he wanted to throw the ball, he got rid of it. So, but I think with the quality he would have at wide receiver in Pittsburgh, with a GP, with a DK, with a Calvin Austin III, with a Freiermuth, with Washington, he would kill it, bro. He would kill it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just at this point, Knights 21 says it at this point, Aaron Rodgers for years is by far our best option. He's right.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
facts.
If we're trying to win football games, by far right now, he is just the best option. Again, we don't have to like it. I said, but facts are just facts. My question is, how much confidence do you have in Rodgers finishing the season? I don't think that's so much of a worry, him finishing the season. If we're going to go where we're trying to go anyway, our offensive line has to be better. And I think it will be better. A lot of people keep saying, well, you can't trust our line. I go, well, that's if you say that the line is not going to get any better. It's a bunch of young guys out there. It'd be one thing, Big G, if it was a bunch of guys that were like 5, 6, 7 year vets. It's a bunch of 1 and 2 year guys. Broderick is going to be in his 3rd year. So a bunch of young guys that are out there playing. I would think that they are going to get better. Now, again, I can't guarantee that. But most people in the National Football League get better from year 1 to year 2, 2 to 3. So I'm just going to assume these guys are going to get better. And if they do play better, that's going to be better than the line that the Jets had last year. I mean,
Yeah.
the Steelers line, if they get better, I've said it all along, if they just play average football, Big G, the Steelers are going to have a good season.
B, I don't disagree with you. But we know, listen, bro, we play football, we play college football. You know, you got close to the league, all whatever else. We know we've been around the game our whole freaking life. The question mark is Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
Because I think Troy Fautano is going to show that he was going to take Broderick's spot anyway. Right. So we already know that the Steelers brass already think as of today that Troy Fautano is better than Broderick Jones. Mason McCormick, I look for him to make a leap. Zach Frazier's already, to me, an all-pro caliber center. So the big question is, does Broderick Jones play with the potential that he actually has? If he does that, we're going to be a better than average offensive line. That's the whole question about the line. So, and in that case, you leave big old Mount Washington or that Parma kid that they got from the Chargers in to help him block on that side of the line. I mean, it's not complicated, bro.
No, it's not complicated at all. First super chat of the day. Number 1, thank you, Mason. We appreciate you supporting the channel. He said, unless Sanders falls, I just trade back and pick up as much talent as possible. This team isn't a QB away from winning, and they'll never hoist a Lombardi anytime soon unless they make some changes. I mean, I guess. But the Steelers, I mean, again, I don't think they're trying to be just a player away. I think that's part of it. I think we have to think of it as just building the roster best we can. But look, I obviously Aaron Rodgers isn't the future. I mean, he's not the future. But at the same time, if the Steelers can win, don't we just want to win playoff games? I know the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. But if we can win a playoff game, I think maybe that's what the coaching staff and what the front office and everybody is trying to do. Just get us a playoff win to get some of these fans off our back. I think that's kind of what the play is here, Big G.
Yeah, I agree. But, B, I think we've talked about it to an extent, but we'll bring it up right now. To me, the deal is the Pittsburgh Steelers have pulled off what most of you guys don't realize most teams don't do. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been horrible as an organization and a franchise based on the decimation of the 53-man roster and a rebuild with a loss of a quarterback walking out the front door and still remain relevant to play in the playoffs every freaking year.
Yes.
We've never seen this done in the NFL ever before.
Nope.
So if a guy like Rodgers and a guy like DK Metcalf added to the current Rodgers roster, oh my God. If we're making the playoffs with the bums that we had, now Baby Hands Pickett and all them other guys, let's put dang on Rodgers and DK and let's go. We're going to win at least one playoff game. At least one, man.
Correct. Alonzo Dunn with the super chat here. He says, what's up, Big B, Big G? So I'm looking further than a playoff game with our current receiver room and Aaron Rodgers. Well, you may be right about that. You might be right. Maybe we should be looking a little bit further. If you get Aaron Rodgers and who we have as far as quarterback, maybe we should be looking further than just one playoff win. It makes sense. You know, it makes sense, Big G, is that don't live in those fears. Is that go out there and try to attack something. I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. It's like maybe we should be looking a little bit further down the road. I don't know.
Well, I think, man, with Rodgers, with DK Metcalf, with an improved George Pickens, and if we're able to get another running back to go along with Jaylen Warren and the line jails, I understand the comment. I understand that what we just got. It does make sense. Rodgers, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Freiermuth, Mount Washington, Jaylen Warren, and a drafted running back with a better offensive line. Yeah, we should be looking further than one playoff, but let's not put the cart in front of the horse, bro. Let's do this thing a step at a time. First thing, let's get Rodgers in the building, bro.
Let's get Rodgers in the building. Arch Baby Doll with the super chat. Thank you again for your support, Arch Baby Doll, as always. He said, in my opinion, Putting Jones at left tackle is not the answer to the problem to fixing the O-line. I don't think it's the only answer, but you drafted this kid to be your left tackle. At some point, you have to see if he can play left tackle. I mean, at some point, you have to do that. Now, it may blow up in our face. Hey, he can't play left tackle. Okay. But at some point, if you move up to draft a kid to play a certain position and you never allow him to play that position, well, then what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's necessarily the key to fixing the whole O-line. Him playing well would be the key. Is that him moving to the left side and then just give us average play. Like he doesn't have to have all pro or Pro Bowl caliber play, Big G. If he just gives us average play, that's better than what we got last year. And if Troy Fautano just plays like he did in the Denver game, well, that's better than what we got last year, you know? So I don't think it's necessarily the key to fixing the line, but that's part of it. You know, there isn't just a one quick fix to the O-line. It's a good question, Arch Baby Doll, but I don't think it's a quick fix, but it's part of the solution because you have to give him an opportunity. Because if you don't, then what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, Steelers fans are expecting to mash the gas right away. B, you said it. 4 of our 5 offensive linemen are under 3 years.
Yeah.
There's something to do with experience because people talk about the Steelers, Pat Myers doesn't develop the line play and all whatever else. The dude's just got in a freaking league. Right. Unless they listen, I haven't seen in the last 2 or 3 years an offensive lineman at a tackle or guard just come in and blow you away right away. I've seen all of them hit the wall, hit the rookie wall, do the struggle thing, see things that they haven't seen, and play players that they have never played at that caliber week after week after week. So let's give Pat Meyer an opportunity to continue to build the continuity amongst the offensive line. Because, B, you know, we played it. Having confidence with the guy standing next to you means everything in the world. If I think this dude on the inside of me or the outside of me is a bum, I'm out there looking like a dang old lost panda versus like actually doing my assignment and what I'm supposed to do. So there's something to do with continuity with the offensive line as well, man.
Right. No, all of that is true. Everything that you said is true. The only pushback that I would have as far as Broderick is that people want to give the excuse that Rodgers was out of position and that's why he played bad. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. If he was out of position his rookie year, he didn't look that bad his rookie year. He looked pretty daggone good. He took a huge step back last year. And to me, it was because, again, we do all 22s after every Steeler game of the offensive line. We break it down. There's effort issues with Broderick, assignment issues with Broderick. That isn't because he's playing right tackle. You know, he didn't give the effort. Then there were just flat out plays where he was getting his ass kicked. Yeah. So he just took a step back. He just took a step back. The thing that I like that is that when you saw him do it right, when you saw him give the effort, know his assignment, you know, get proper hand placement, and he was an absolute monster.
Facts.
That's the difference, is that when you saw Broderick do it right, to me, talent-wise, he's the best lineman that we have. He's better, even better than Zach Frazier. He's the best lineman, talent-wise, just pure talent that we have. But that doesn't mean that we're going to see that on every single Sunday, Big G.
Total facts, bro. Total facts. So, digging it.
Yeah, and we got some of our members here. Capricorn Steel has joined in. What's going on, Capricorn? Appreciate you getting in, coming in, my man. Arch Baby Doll said, no excuses for bad play. Exactly right. Arch Baby Doll has taken my philosophy. There are no excuses for bad play. I don't care if you're hurt. That doesn't give you the excuse. It just
facts.
Doesn't. So
that's total facts.
Alonzo Dunn coming in with the super chat. Appreciate it, Alonzo. Again, thank you for the super chat and the support, man. Said the line had to have to gel, and they will in time. Time builds confidence.
Yeah,
you're exactly right. You're
confidence
exactly right. It got to start in OTAs.
Yeah.
Start in OTAs and get it going from there. You know, they got time to gel. Again, I know there's a lot of us that don't trust Pat Meyer, the offensive line coach, and I'm one of those people. But you know what? Repetition. That's how you get better. We got to at least allow that and give them some grace. We got to allow that. and give him some grace.
Like I said, I'm a firm believer in continuity too, man. At the high school level, I played at the junior college level and at the collegiate level, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that I played with, I hung around those guys all the time because continuity is huge, man. And that's confidence. And sometimes we had to go through some mess. We literally had to go through something, and I was like, okay, I trust this dude with everything I got because I knew that if I'm gonna go out there and get into a war and fight, oh, he's gonna do what he's got to do. Be aggressive if you're gonna be wrong, but try to knock the dude's freaking head off every time, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's the continuity thing. I got your back, you got mine. We're gonna maul these dudes, man. I don't care nothing about anybody standing in front of us. So I
Correct.
think that they need some of that, and that'll come in time as they get older and experience and play together, bro.
Right. It's a good super chat. Again, thank you, Mason, for helping support the channel, man. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good statement. And that's what makes it even more annoying because we all know that he can do it, talking about
Facts.
Broderick Jones. But will
Yeah.
he? Only
Mm-hmm.
time will tell, but I hope he does. That's the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, is because there's too many times in a game where you would see him do it right and just an absolute monster. Just a
Mm-hmm.
monster, Big G.
Mm-hmm.
But it was few and far between. It was
Yeah.
few and far between. We got to see more. We got to
Yeah.
see more. And we need to see more. So,
Facts.
what does it mean for Mason Rudolph, the draft and the future, if Aaron Rodgers signs Big G? To me, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think anything. I don't think anything changes.
No.
I don't think anything at all changes. We
Mm-hmm.
got Mason Rudolph as the backup. We draft a rookie. I don't necessarily think. Look, if we're drafting somebody in the 4th round or something like that, we're not looking for that guy to be the starter anyway. So I
Facts.
know a lot of people think that if we draft a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round, that we can't draft a quarterback next year if the class happens to be really good and there's guys available. Well, yeah, you can. You
Mm-hmm.
absolutely can. There's nothing holding the Steelers back from drafting multiple quarterbacks in back-to-back years. Of course they can do that. So I don't think people should think, well, we draft our quarterback this year, we can't take one next year. We got to see if this guy's the franchise quarterback. No, absolutely not. My thing is that there's nothing wrong with competition.
Yeah.
Competition is okay to have.
Yeah.
We draft this guy in the 3rd or 4th round this year. Say we draft one in the 1st round next year. Let
Yeah.
the best man win. And then we go from there, Big G.
Man, the Steelers fans don't get it, bro. Check this out. Mason's a year. We got him for a year. Okay. Rodgers we gonna hope and pray he makes it through the year. So that means that next year, who's cooked is Skylar Thompson. Get him out of here. He's a bum anyway. So, but we're gonna get the rookie, and then we're gonna have to go right back in the draft next year to get another one. You have to do that. It's going to be a multiple years. Now, is it a first? Well, it depends on what happens with this franchise, and it depends who's sitting there in the first. But I think for maybe 2, possibly even 3 years in a row, the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to have to draft a quarterback. The room is old. We have to get the room young. Every other franchise has went through it, and that's why I say, that's why I be calling Steelers fans spoiled. I be telling them, stop it. You sound like a bunch of babies need a pacifier. You don't realize that we were 9-8 and 10-7 and 11-6 with an old and nothing quarterback. Ben
Right.
Roethlisberger packed it up and bro, in like 2017. It was over. So I mean, bro, we've been struggling for a minute. So we have to get that room younger, and we got to take draft picks. It is what it is.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you. It's a good comment by Rob Nash, man. Again, Rob, thank you for the super chat and helping support the channel. If Sanders falls to us at 21, Omar Khan should run to the podium himself.
Full sprint.
Yeah.
Full sprint. Full sprint. I'm talking about like breakout sweat sprint. You dabbing your head. Full sprint. Full sprint.
Absolutely.
At the podium.
Absolutely.
At the podium.
And you know what we're going to have to give him? We're going to have to give him some E&J.
Yeah.
We're going to have to give him some big puns, E&J to get him back. We're going to have to give him a little bit to drink a little bit. After he runs up there, we need some E&J to get back with it. That's for you. Big pun, you like that E&J. It's all about that. That's because you're right. If he falls to 21, I mean, everything in his power needs to go up there and draft Shedeur Sanders. I mean, And if he don't, and we draft somebody else, Omar Khan's on the chopping block.
That's big
I'll
facts.
say that right now. If Shedeur Sanders falls to us at 21 and we go somewhere else, chopping block, Omar Khan. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to do that, B. I don't think he's going to do that. What would be beautiful, though, is Rodgers and Shedeur, but that's another conversation. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful to me.
No, you're right. You're right, man. That's right. But the speculation is that Rodgers is going to sign with the Steelers. Let's move on, man.